Welcome to Swimming with Sepsey, where we break down various life topics, bring on inspirational guests to talk about their lives, their experiences, and encourage you to swim through your own inner thoughts, emotions, and feelings to inspire a change within you that will hopefully lead to an outer change in your own personal reality. I ask that throughout this episode and all future episodes that you come with an open mind, an open heart, and a willingness to look at yourself in a different way and to look at the world in a different way. I'm grateful for each and every one of you that is tuned in this current moment, and I look forward to sharing many more moments with you. And with that, let's dive on in.
Hey, nice.
Yeah.
Shall we?
Yeah, do the honors.
Thank you.
Light it up. If you can.
We just talked about this.
I know. There you go, come on.
I didn't even see a light though.
Are we out of fluid?
I
Get
used
outta
it for
here,
that
bro.
one, bro. Oh,
It's alright.
not fair.
I mean, it's my lighter. Of course I know how to use it. It only makes sense. Let's
What's-
do it again.
Yeah.
You gotta really pull down.
Okay.
Teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work. Wait, what is it?
I think that's right.
Safety first, then teamwork.
What did you say?
In Pineapple Express.
What did he say?
He's like, safety first, then teamwork. Worst shoes in the house.
I don't remember that. I love Pineapple Express though. That's a good movie.
Yeah. Anyways.
We're not promoting.
Welcome to Swimming with Sepsey, with your host, Joshua Sepsey, and our co-host, I'm getting a clap. All right. Hey.
Slow clap.
And are you doing that for you?
No, for you, bro.
Oh.
Not for me.
You're
Just
slow
hype
clapping
myself
yourself
up.
in. And with our co-host, Nicki.
No way.
Chesky. I feel like people just get hyped when I say your last name.
Towacheski?
I get hyped.
Oh, really?
I have to say it like that every time.
I wish I got hyped.
When people said your name.
Yeah. No, half the time people say it like different, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me. It really doesn't.
All right. Today's episode is, drumroll please. We are talking about the art of manifestation.
Ooh, this is a good one.
Yeah. I feel like there's so many people that talk about this.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, I feel like so much of it is watered down. Plus, I feel like manifestation just has this like mystical feel that like it seems like it's like magical, right? Like it's like, oh my
Yeah.
God, I'm manifesting this.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just coming
Well,
to me out of nowhere. Or,
Yeah.
You know.
Well, one thing I feel like off the bat, people think manifestation is like you said, like you're not manifesting all the time. You're manifesting constantly, but you're not aware of what you're manifesting.
Yeah. So that's why when we're doing our meditation, which, by the way, we do meditations before. I don't want to say every single one because we have missed some, but a lot of them we do meditation before we do the episode, which we're going to start recording. We're going to keep it general, and then we're going to start I'm going to start putting like a little audio ambiance to them and then just like dish out 20-minute meditations that you guys can just do based on whatever topic. And maybe I'll go and redo a couple so that way we guys have, some meditations to go through. We'll come up with something fun for that. Also, do we have any other updates? I don't know. That $20 off thing is still going. So if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, send me a screenshot. I'll send a $20 discount as far as any reading that you want to have done. Peep that episode, by the way. The Akashic Records one was pretty tight. Yeah. Anyways, fast forward. So co-creation is really what I like to call it now, because it's not just manifesting. It's not like a magical thing, right? You play a part in it. And just like you said, it's a constant. You're doing it every single day.
Oh, that's a little freaky.
Dude, I think a bird just flew into the wall.
No, dude, the door closed.
Oh.
It was like a gust of wind that closed, slammed the door shut. But that was a little freaky because I was like,
whoa.
How did that close?
It's like shutting us off. Well, yeah, both the windows. So me and Dalton create a draft.
Oh, your windows open?
When both our windows are open. So yeah, that does happen.
It's kind of weird.
Ooh, that was scary.
Mm-hmm.
Freya unfazed, still just licking her chops. So
she didn't even know what.
She's probably used. She's like, whatever, dude.
Things happen.
Yeah.
No explanation all the time.
So co-creation is the better term, I feel like, because to your point, us being a part of it all the time. Bless you.
I'm so sorry.
You're good. Do you want allergy medicine?
Just one sneeze. Yeah, man, my allergies are going nuts. Nah, it's just this incense, I think, honestly. It's good incense, but it's new, Yeah. It's fine. I like it.
Yeah, it's not bad. So this, for the third time, the co-creation is really, I think, a better way to think about it. Because you hear this, I don't know how, I know you said you're not on social media all the time, but so many videos of people talking about manifesting, you got to put the work in on your end, blah, blah. But so much they get colluded to how much work you have to actually put in and what kind of work to actually do.
Yeah, because I was going to say, what's the main thing that people are saying out there about it? Just you got to work hard for it?
Well, a couple things that I've seen is there's affirmations that'll get you rich, or affirmations that if you say this every day, it'll change your life. And blah, blah, blah. And that's great. That's one way to kind of do it, I would say. But all that you're doing is kind of tricking your brain and you have to do it for a really long time before you rewire your brain to really start to believe in what you're saying. And a lot of times if you don't semi-believe it even a little bit or have an inkling, you're not going to follow through on that. Or it's just going to take way too long because in the very beginning you may just not believe it at all. And so the only time it's actually going to start gaining traction and getting energy is when you actually start to believe in it. But if you have all these old, we'll call them samskaras for the sake, or old patterning habits or old beliefs, we'll just use all the terms, that are riding against this affirmation that you're saying, and that's layered. All you're doing is just layering this manifestation, this energy on top of something that you already believe is not going to work, thinking and hoping that this little Band-Aid is going to do the trick and change your whole mindset. When in the law of universe, the laws of, everything, I guess, universal laws, cosmic laws, whatever you want to call them, earthly laws, that ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
It's just not. It's gonna take a long time, and you're gonna have to actually put in a lot more work than you desire to, right? You're gonna be going. Remember back in the episode, we were talking about how I'm working, gotta be better than this person, better than this. I gotta work every single day at this, work as hard as I can, blah blah, and then it'll come true. That's not manifesting. That's just working really hard and it coming true, and then you call it manifesting.
Yeah, that's true.
That's not co-creating. right? That's overriding all of the energy and laws. And great, you can do that. And, you know, some more power to you for doing that. I have no worries. You want to call it manifesting, call it manifesting. That's not manifesting. Manifesting is, oh man, I need rent on 3 days from now, 4 days from now, and I got to come up with $700. How the heck am I going to do that? Sitting with how you're going to do that, asking the question, how am I going to do that? Taking then those, whatever comes, filtered through, because you're at this point just letting it all go, acting on those few things. Maybe you only do 2 things, like I did first Friday, and then we had the psychic fair.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, there was rent.
Yeah.
Did I have to do that much work? Not really. I didn't sit there and stress and go door to door or come up with this elaborate plan or stop myself from getting 8 hours of sleep or resting or still doing the things I wanted to do. Like, I showed up, did the reading, like got tons of readings at first Friday, came up with almost a third of it. And then 8 hours, our first time ever doing the psychic fair, here's the rest of it. And someone actually just randomly booked.
Yeah.
You know, that was a couple of years ago. So, like, that's manifesting. Manifesting is when you need something, you put the intention out there, and someone just randomly knocks on your door. Like, I remember our mentor told us a story. He was like, we had to paint the whole building that he just got in Yoga Pura. He told us stories like, I had to paint this whole building, and like I didn't, I'm not a painter or anything like that. And he was like, we just kind of put out what we needed, and then like I don't know if it was a day later or the same day, someone came knocking on the door and saw that they had the newspapers all up in the front, and I was like, hey, like I'm a contracted painter, like I'll like paint this if you guys give me like yoga for free. And he was like, yeah.
That's crazy.
Like, that's manifesting.
Yeah.
That's co-creating with the universe, putting your intention out there, knowing it's just going to happen, and having faith that it's going to just happen for you, that it's already done.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say is like you have to have a clear intention first off that's not, I think you said watered down earlier, like not watered down by like the fears and anxieties of it not working. Like, or if it like being like, because I feel like a lot of people like deal with those things like on a daily basis of like, oh, I don't like my job, I want to find a new job, or like I don't have enough money to pay my bills, like how am I going to come up with this money by this time? Like even, or maybe even new relationship, like you know what I'm saying? Like
relationships are a big one too.
Yeah. And intention is huge on figuring out what your intention is. But then I think the hardest part of manifesting is like not shaking or breaking down when you're put to not the test, but I feel like it's like the universe will ask of you to like hold on your intention, a pure intention, and then just like hold on to the vibration. Because really I feel like if you want something or you see something like a vision for yourself and you want to manifest that, like that has a certain frequency or energy or vibration to it, and so like for you to attract that into your life you have to hold that same vibration. That's a law of vibration, I think, of in universal law. So like that's the hardest part for me, like when you're faced with like the reality and it's like, okay, you could either believe in something way bigger than this or you could still kind of be like locked down by the matrix or the like what we think to be true, like the box like image of reality or whatever. Like you either have a choice in that moment is like, am I going to go back to my old like limiting ways of like me like using my sacral of like trying to, or is that overuse of your sacral, trying to like
your
willpower your solar plexus solar
overuse.
plexus. And it's like, all right, I could either strain this part of myself and like try to like force this to happen, but then you're just gonna be like unhappy with what you attract anyways, and it's
Normally,
you're gonna
yeah.
kind of be like have that
I will say, like, there is a level of letting go of the expectation that you
Yeah.
have to just let go.
yeah.
That you have to, like, eradicate fully. Like, if you're sitting there expecting it to come out in
Yeah.
a certain way
Yep.
and look a certain way,
You're gonna
and
miss it.
feel a certain way, yeah, you're gonna miss
Yeah,
the whole thing.
for sure.
You're gonna miss one. You're gonna miss it. It may come a different way, but you could also, like, opportunities could come up that may bring you that in, like, a grander scale, and
Yeah.
because it's not the way that you thought it was gonna play out or the way
Yeah.
that you desired to
Yep.
manifest it in a
True.
way, you're just gonna skip right past it, be like, no, because you're like, I'm waiting for it to be like this.
Man, so my grandpa used to tell me, like, and it might be from the Bible. I'm not sure where this reference is, but I'm not like pushing this on. It's just like a kind of like a story that kind of like depicts that good or well. And I was gonna say, like, there's this story my grandpa used to tell me about, like, this person on a boat, and they're praying to God or the universe for like something because
love
they're
this
stranded.
story.
You know this one?
Yeah, I know this
Stranded
one.
out on at the ocean, and like
Yeah.
they're just praying for like something to save them, and all these like different opportunities of like people like coming to him saying like, hey, like, are you okay? Like,
Yeah.
and then he's like, no, it's okay. Like, I
I'm
know
waiting for God's
I
gonna
know
save
God
me.
is gonna save me. Like,
Yeah.
I know He is. So go ahead.
Yeah.
Go on.
Then he dies.
And then he
And he goes to
dies.
heaven, and God goes, what are you doing? He goes, well, why didn't you send me signs, God? He's like, I sent you 3 boats.
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what it was. But
Same-
similar concept.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
the exact same concept.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what happened. I mean, and I think it has to do with our, well, one, the ego is going to play into a factor in that, right? Because your ego has a certain way it's built out, this whole thing, and the stubbornness of people and the ego when things go completely different to like try and force it back into its box. It's unrealistic. Like you can't keep it you can't keep the universe in a box. I'm sorry. I mean, although we are kind of the universe in like a meat suit, but we're also like co-creating with it. We are able to utilize the energies of it, right? Because we're a part of it. So when you are actively co-creating, yes, clear intention, letting go of expectations. And then, oh my gosh, I want to say this. I might want to say this for the end, but I'm going to bring it up here
Okay.
right now because Sadhguru has this great thing. He like totally like contradicts this aspect of not contradicts it, but maybe like chasing after your dreams, right? Which a lot of us attribute chasing after our dreams to manifesting our dreams, which I would say it's two different. I would say it's two different things. Only because chasing after the dream or what you have in mind of like what you want to create, like he's like, don't do that. He's like, stop chasing after your dreams. I hope your dreams don't come true. I watched a video of this yesterday. I was like, ooh, that's interesting. But he goes, because I hope that you just focus on yourself and become the best human that you can be and be the most authentic
Crazy.
human you can be.
Yeah.
And then the universe brings you something even bigger than you can even imagine.
Yeah. Man, that's crazy.
And I love that
you
he
say
said that. And I like watched that video, and it was right before. It was literally yesterday, right before
Yeah.
we're gonna do today. Let's talk about manifestation. And I was like, dang, like someone that I kind of like look up to, and like love listening to him speak, says that. And then I started to think about, well, then what's the difference between like kind of co-creating and then chasing after your dream, or like manifestation and chasing after your dream, like of like dreaming of something. And so I thought about it, and I was like, well, you can go head first, and I think that chasing after your dream part is where you have like the ego, the expectations, how it's supposed to look, and how you want to line everything up, instead of just like I am going to continue working myself. I have this intention of what I would love to create. And if that doesn't come, that's okay. Because I know that as long as I continue working on myself and continue trying to just be the best person, that opportunities to create not only that, but more than that can happen and occur.
That's amazing, bro.
Yeah.
That's literally blows my mind. You said that because now that you bring that up, I think I would have forgotten about it if you didn't bring it up. But I remember like the other day recently, I heard like best way to manifest is just to be in alignment with the universe, and to be in alignment with the universe is to constantly just, the only thing you got to do is look at yourself, and aligning yourself with the universe is just being like a good person essentially, and just like knowing what decisions to make because you're confident in who you are and like stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that's really cool that you said that. But I was going to say something too, like you reminded me of like if you're just working on yourself, like, and like kind of letting go of that expectation, I feel like I could see the other side of why you would want to manifest your dreams versus chasing your dreams, because I could see where chasing your dreams could turn into like you're so focused on the doing and the action of it that like you need to accomplish things and like do things, so you're still kind of having like a mindset of like looking outside of yourself, like I'm still like, because let's say if you're chasing your dreams, what if that never happens?
Right.
Then you're gonna have life full of regret, guilt, shame, all these like negative emotions. If you're just focused on working on yourself, healing yourself, being a good person, like knowing that that's gonna attract all the beautiful things that you want in life, like then you're completely okay with not having that attachment to the material world or whatever it is, but it's still going to be there because you're attracting it into your life.
Exactly.
That's like the faith part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the faith. That's knowing. That's just knowing that it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have, like, I don't know if I've told you this. I mean, when I'm talking about, like, wanting that retreat space and, like, wanting to help people like that and, like, creating, like, the coaching of people with gifts and abilities that are kind of understanding them, like those things, I want to create that. I'm full well and happy that if it doesn't happen, I don't have a plan B. But like I fully just am knowing that it's there already. I don't question it anymore. I used to question it all the time. I'm like, oh, got to figure out something to do. But like now, after like being like constantly just working on self every day and like shedding these things and just trying to do the best I can day in and day out and just be the best person I can day in and day out, it changed my perspective. That in itself changes your perspective on like what you want to create, because I'm happy. You know, I love life every day. I love what I do every day. I mean, even though I work a 9 to 5, 10 to 7 job, I still love that job. I still love everything that I do. I love that I still can do this. I can still connect with people. You know, I still can get out and do that. I still can go out and hang out with my friends and go to shows or, make music. I was making music the other day.
Nice.
Like I'm still just doing everything that I want to do. And I love it. I love that aspect because it just allows you to enjoy the moment and enjoy being human without getting wrapped up and worried about if this is even going to work or if this is even going to come true. Right? I have full faith that whatever is going to happen to 40-year-old me, 32-year-old me, 33, 35-year-old me, tomorrow me, that it's still in alignment. And then I'm just constantly in that vibration space. But I like that you brought that up, and I wanted to circle back to being the same vibration of the manifestation. Because I think that is a very good way of seeing, like analyzing yourself, and I actually was working on this last week with a friend / client of mine. She, we were talking about creating and seeing and picturing, putting a image and a feeling around what your heart desires, whatever your heart desires for your life to look like, right? Because your heart and your mind are going to have two different things. And so you're building that, and you're listening to the heart, and then you see yourself in these spaces of, maybe having a sort of land, or I'm just kind of painting a picture just for hypothetical sake. You have land, you have a dog, you have some chickens, or you got an income, blah, 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 however that looks and makes you feel. And then you recognize who you are in that moment. Like your attributes, your values, your morals, like the way you are, the way you act, the way you feel. And then you kind of back to our mathematical equation of, okay, if that's how I am in that sense, and I'm seeing myself maybe from an outside perspective because I'm not quite there yet to be able to see everything in like a first person perspective when I'm creating it in my head, then I notice, okay, since I'm seeing it from an outside perspective, what do I have to change internally now to be able to look at everything in my vision as a first person perspective, to embody that person, to embody whoever that is in that manifestation. Maybe it's letting go of old wounds. Maybe it's, letting go of a fear that's never going to happen. Seeing where that comes from, and kind of like taking a backtrace steps and recognizing that. And I love doing that too in the space of creation and manifestation of you paint that whole picture, and then you go backwards. And I actually saw someone talk about this, and I was very, very, very enthused and like grateful that someone talked about it, because I was like, I've been talking about this for years, so I'm glad that someone put it out there. But you paint the picture, you again feel the feelings, see what it feels like to you to have this created. Envision all aspects, get very detailed on it, and then you go backwards. Okay, so before I got the land and everything, or maybe you got the chickens here, what did I have to do to get that? Well, okay, maybe I contacted someone to get the chickens, or I started raising or hatching them as an egg, and then okay, maybe you see like all this crops growing. Okay, maybe I looked up, studied the best way to grow crops and how to plant them and how to work with them together, and then okay, well, what about all these buildings? Okay, maybe I saw like an architecture and engineer and kind of mapped out how this is going to work on my land, and then I created that, and then I was like, okay, well, I'm working with these people, great. Okay, so those people are going to come in my life then, because obviously that's already been created. So I see myself working with the engineers, working with the architecture, working with people on sustainable ways to keep it going. Okay, great. And then, okay, go back a little bit. Okay, now I'm actually surveying the land. Now I'm checking out the land, and I'm going through that. And then you just go backwards.
Yeah, that's really a good idea.
Yeah. And so you take it a step by step, back to back to back to back. Maybe, and you get to, if you continue to do it and you long span it out, you can go all the way back to, tomorrow I gotta wake up and do this.
Yeah. That would be insane if you could really like nail it down to the next day. That's insane.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But you could do it.
Yeah.
You could say this is only a 6-month span, and you can do that. It'd be pretty wild, but you got to think about how you're gonna come up with it. But like, I don't like to put a time frame on it.
Yeah.
Because you put a time frame on it, then the ego goes, you're not doing this, you're going to freak out, you're going to shame yourself for not getting this done, and you're going to have anxiety, you're going to have all this stuff, and then you're just going to give up because you didn't get it done in the time frame that you wanted to get it done in.
Because for real, like, we're not on our own time, it's like universe's time. So
time doesn't exist.
Yeah. And yeah, exactly. I mean, universe's time means that exactly. Yeah. And there's so much shit that's going on behind the scenes to make this happen. Like, there's just a lot of, like, just, like, things moving around that you're not really aware of. So, But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, like that whole process kind of reminded me of like creation, like a creation of a project too. And then I was thinking like film,
Oh, yeah.
and I was thinking like something similar happens when you're like making a movie or a film, because you have like this end goal of what you want it to look like, and it's crazy because like even like you have your plan, like you have your script, you have your, even before your script, you have like a storyboard, you have the concept, all these like parts that go into it, and like you can have this like end goal, but it's like slowly changing as like you're going through this creative process, and it's molding into this huge beautiful idea. Like it's just like really cool because like you can set an intention, like for instance I'll set like a concept for a movie. Usually how I start to like make a film is like I'll have an idea, but then I'll be like, oh, I want it to like have this effect on people. Usually it's like helping people, just because that's like my alignment of like what I want to do in this world. So I'll be like, oh, I want this to like express this part of me and maybe offer like some clarity for other people, or like a voice for other people.
Yeah.
And then like that's my first intention, and then I'll have a concept that goes into it, storyline, and then I have this vision in my head. But then like once you're setting up the camera, like magic of like the moment happens, and like is still creating that, but it's not going to be the same. It's going to be something that you never even thought of, and it's going to be way more cool. I'm just saying, because like it is, like I promise you, because I've seen it with film.
Yeah.
And that's like just another creation, you know? It's like,
Yeah, that's very, I mean, right on.
yeah.
And that goes to like one of our topics of how your life really is a movie.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Exactly.
If you're to think about it,
Yeah.
like you're the star.
Mm-hmm.
You're the main character. Mm-hmm. Have that energy. Everyone got main character energy.
We all got main
We all got main
bro.
character energy, dude.
Yeah, for real.
Like, you may embody it a different way,
Yeah.
and that's okay. You're just working through. You can be the main character and not show main character energy, right? You can still be that.
Yeah.
You know? And I think that shifting it into a terms of co-creation allows you to get that sort of, not control, because for one, you can't control what the heck's going to happen,
Yeah.
right? In some aspects you can. You can control your reaction, you can control your intention, and you can control every action that you do. So reaction to the emotions and feelings that come along, you can control the intention that you set, and you can control the actions that you take into the day to align yourself with what you want to create. And so I think that aspect of taking it on, of like co-creation, instead of just saying affirmations and writing it down and then just hearing you got to put in the work, because the work,
Yeah.
that drives me nuts. When people are like, oh yeah, then you just got to put in the work. Well, the work's not always external. Everyone thinks the work is external. It's not. 90% of the work is internal.
That's facts, dude. And I am thinking of many situations where me or other people have been like, well, how is this gonna, like, and what would you say to somebody, like, how is this gonna get done, or how am I gonna achieve this if I'm not putting my energy towards it? Because that's, I think, a lot of, like, that's, like, the main thought of, like, people when they're trying to create. They're gonna say, well, how can I not pour all my energy into it? Like, I have to, like, but I know what you're saying, but I'm just trying to make it clear for other people too. Like, that's still putting your energy into it. Your energy is going towards that ultimate goal, but the ultimate goal too is just for what, you to be happy, because why do you want these things in the first place?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It ultimately, like, or to have peace or something, just be like,
Yeah, because if your intention is to create or manifest this life, oh Jesus, or manifest or create this life, she's going to want to attack those little things. So be careful. A little dangerous having them in close range, proximity range to her, but she'll figure it out. Huh, baby? Come here. She's like, no, I like Nicki's feet. All right.
She smells them a lot.
enough.
They gotta be that stinky, bro.
She just likes the pungent smell.
Probably. Dogs like it too. I'm all bragging. Dogs and cats like my feet.
Oh, my baby. Hey. So I think you're talking about like the energy of like putting in the internal work, like that work.
Yeah.
Is that the question? Because I know you said you had a question.
The
there.
question was because I'm thinking of people in my life and myself sometimes when I'm like trying to, and usually it's something like expressive. It's usually like we have a dream, right? Let's say somebody wants to be an actress.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And she wants to manifest that, but it's like she's going to all these interviews, she's going to tryouts, audition, like trying to make this stuff happen. She's staying up late, she's doing the script but you know what I'm saying? But at some point it's going to be like you're getting burnt out.
Yeah.
You know, and that's like the major thing that I see a lot with creatives trying to create what their dreams or whatever. But my question was like, so then how can we clarify like the work? What's the work? Because I was going to say like a lot of people think like your energy, if it's not being constantly spent in action, like taking like doing these things for the dream or whatever, then like
the work is going back to our last episode. Technically we're recording this. We haven't released the next episode. The one about being authentic, right? That's really where the work comes from. Because if you're trying to put on this farce of I'm this, I'm that, and you're letting the ego ride, and you're not being authentic, that's going to come across in anything that you try to do. If you're trying to fake it. Now, if you're able to be this authentic person, this is going back into being a good person, or just being a human in general, finding the happiness in these little moments and enjoying the journey instead of saying, until I get this, I'm going to be X, Y, and Z. I'm not going to be happy where I'm at.
Yeah.
I'm just not this. I'm not, loving what I do. I can't be that until I have this. And I hear that, that's like this common phrase.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be happy until I have this.
Actually, bro, you reminded me of something that came up earlier when we were in this conversation is Tantra. Because, like, you keep not keep talking, but you've mentioned a couple times in this episode, and we've just kind of like...
Tantra or mantra?
No, Tantra, because Tantra, not like tantric, like sensuality, sexuality, whatever, just Tantra in general, like the practice of Tantra is being, like, living in the moment, enjoying, like, being able to enjoy every single sense, experience, thing that you're going through because you're so present in life. That everything becomes in a way sensual because you're just so present.
Yes.
And I was gonna say, like, if you are wanting to accomplish something like this, Tantra is another. I was just throwing it out there.
Oh, that's a great point. Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah, because if you're not enjoying, we kind of already said it.
If you don't enjoy the process, you're gonna get what you want, and then you're probably gonna be upset because it ain't the way you wanted it to come out. Because you didn't put the right energy into it. The energy that was into it when you weren't enjoying was anxiety, nervous, fear, maybe some level of hope. Sometimes you have fun, but the overweighing energies were all of. I'm just seeing them like as like actual frequencies. They're harsh. They're, sporadic. It's almost like I don't know. I don't want to say this because, I'm going to say it anyways. Like a heavy metal.
Yeah.
To me, personally, heavy metal gives me that kind of like,
Yeah.
Like, this doesn't feel good to me.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. To other people, it's a great thing. But like, to me, that's what I feel. I feel like nails scraping on a chalkboard. That kind of energy is what's kind of being put into your project, to put into your career, to put into your everyday life. If you're living like that, that energy is not going to create what you want to create. You're battling then at this point. And so when you're, instead of trying to constantly battle, accept where you are. Say, okay, I'm full of anxiety. I have fear for the future. I'm stressed the F out because I have all these bills and these need to get paid, but I have this dream that I want to go after, but I feel like I don't have the time. Okay, let's step back. Let's see what we can control. Okay? We can control our breath. Breath work is huge. Starting with the breath, you can kind of relax yourself. Then you can get into, okay, what do I really need to look at? Okay, well, let's start with this fear thing first. Let's go one thing at a time. Let's not overwhelm ourselves because our day is already overwhelmed with all these other things. So let's just accept the anxiety. Let's accept like the stress, and let's just focus on the fear. Let's accept the day-to-day job that we have to work to pay these bills. Let's just accept all of that. Can't change that right now. Right now, that's just going to be. But we can work on this one thing of fear. Maybe this is a confidence thing. Maybe this is a fear in actually creating it and who we're going to be and being seen. Some people like are maybe afraid of being seen as this person. It's like, well, if you're afraid of that, then look into yourself of, well, how do you even feel about yourself? Okay, let's go there. Let's start with that then. Right? So that you start breaking it down, these big feelings and emotions, you start breaking them down into the really core of, maybe in this situation, I just don't like who I am, and I don't know if I'm afraid it's not going to be enough for this dream. Okay,
dang,
so who told you you're not going to be enough? Let's go there. Let's start with the patterning. Then you just start breaking it down. So that's the inner work that you're going to want to do, and that takes time. You got to be willing to actually do that work. Not the external work that you got to push and drive and drain yourself out. It's that little work, and that can be a half hour of a journal a night. Like, that's all. People think it's like so much. I got to go see a therapist. I got to do this, blah, blah. No, if you're just honest and real with yourself, you can make a lot of things happen. I've seen it. I've worked with people that have done it. I've had a client who, you know, I've had multiple people where, like, you have people that are not ready to change, and we cycle through the same thing over and over again. And then I get to the point of, well, we haven't really made any headway. Then I get people that want to make the change internally, and they're in and out in like 10 weeks, and their whole life has changed, and they're hearing from other people like, oh my God, you look so different. Oh my God, there's a different energy about you. Wow, you're actually doing this, this, and this. And she's now living, you know, how she wants to live, and she's probably got a whole different perspective on life now. That's great. That's how easy it is. 10 weeks of diligence and consistent and showing up for yourself for those internal things that we've internalized from outside sources in our life. It's not your fault. It's not your fault that you have these habits and patterns and beliefs about yourself. It is and isn't your fault, all right? It has an external, but then at that point you accepted it, but you need to forgive yourself because you were unaware of what it was going to do to your future self. So forgive. Understand that you can create a new version of yourself, but you have to put in the work. That's also a space of manifesting. It's also a space of co-creation. You're co-creating this vibrancy inside of you, this frequency inside of you, so that way you can also externally co-create the, you know, life that you want to live. It's all a cycle. It's all one together. There is no separation. There is no overriding it. When you override it, you're still going to have all those subconscious things come in front of your face as soon as you get this, you know, as soon as you make $1 million. I make $1 million. Great. I am sad, lonely. All the people that are around me now only want to be around me because of my money. Where's the real people? Where were the happy moments? I just wasted, maybe it's a certain amount of time that you just kind of put in, driving now my body's, X, Y, and Z, or however. So, yeah, there's a internal work that needs to be done, because you can't just slap a bandage on it and think that that's going to make it okay. I'll figure it out one day. Then you reach your deathbed and you're like, wow, I've spent a lot of time just trying to chase this dream. And that's really what Sadhguru was talking about. Just being a person and just being a good and loving, kind human being every single day. Loving everything you do, loving everything you say, you act, how you act, just being that. And when you get to that point, you can look back and go, I'm ready. That was beautiful. That was a fun ride. I had all this fun, all these friends, all this beauty. Was I rich? Maybe not. That's okay. Did the dreams that I wanted to come true? Some of them, yeah, that's great, but it didn't even matter to me because of all these beautiful memories that I had and how much love I received. That's all you want. That's all I want. I don't care if any of this actually happens. But that allows you then to just be, and then, like you said, have that sensualness of life every single day. That just blissful, yeah, I'm okay. Yeah, and that's the work.
Damn, bro, I got chills, goosebumps, bro. That's deep.
Yeah, we took it deep right there, but that's the truth.
Yeah.
And that's why I say I don't like, not that I don't like, but there's so many watered down versions of what manifestation really is.
Mm-hmm.
It's all just a way to get a floor and to create, for you to fall in line. And this, spirituality has taken a whole different turn. I will just say that. It's become commercialized. It's taken this whole just grander farce. I like the word farce, by the way. I think I've seen it twice.
Farce, because I keep thinking you're going to say false, but I'm like, a farce. Oh, yeah, of course. It does. It has like a little bit of like a...
It's like a spice.
I was just going to say spicy. I was literally going to say spiciness to him. False is just bland.
It's overused.
Yeah, overused.
True or false?
You're like taking a test. Nobody likes that shit.
Yeah. So like... Yeah, it's just taken, it's been over-colluded. It's if you think about it, it's deep, but it's really not that deep, and that's the huge conundrum. It's real simple. Mm-hmm. Be spiritual and still do the things you want to do. Which is what I love it. Why it's just like, cheers to the universe for creating all this and like trying to understand it, because it's been a hell of a ride.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Most beautiful, mystical things I've ever experienced.
Yeah.
It's insane. Just receiving all the love that you deserve is...
It's hard to fathom.
Yeah.
It's hard to and that's why, oh my gosh, I love this. Where are we at in time? I don't even know, 47 minutes. Anyways, I'm going to say this like last blip because I think we're going to slowly close it up here. But this is one thing I love. And I don't think this actually has nothing to do with manifestation, by the way. But like, when like talking about the Akashic records and like, you hear the guys, you just get all these different messages and things, and like you're focused on, I have so many people that are like, be curious to like who they are, and want to know names and want to hear from is this my grandma, or is this a crossover loved one. And like I know, like for me personally, I started just saying like I don't want to know your name. I don't care to know your name. I want to know the message. I want to know what they need to know, and let it be of love so that they can grow. That's it. So like, I don't even know how this came to be in my head. I don't know where this was coming from, but I just think it's funny that, like, because of the universe thing just being just so vast and this unknown, right? You can spend so much time trying to figure out letting your head try to logically comprehend everything. You can't. It's not possible. Why try to understand something that there's no physical representation of words that we can put it in to describe it? It's either all feeling, sometimes you get the messages and everything like that, and, grateful to have that connection, but, like, really, there's just no way to try to pinpoint it, right? You can use mathematics, you can use all these things, but then there's this just, well, I don't know, it just is.
Yeah. I remember when I was first getting, like, brought into the spiritual world in a way of where it's like mystical things are happening and I can't rack my brain around it. I remember being like just faced with like either I can believe it or I can go back to living my regular boring ass life.
But it's like you can go back to that, but then you gotta play a blind eye to it all the time. You gotta try and play ignorance.
Yes. And then it drove me crazy. Me personally, I was like, I can't just keep it like, and I don't know why what you said reminded me of, like, I used to think, like, why isn't anybody talking about this? Like, I remember when, it was just so weird. Like, I would always have this, like, weird, like, cloud of, like, am I crazy? Because why are no one talking about this? Like, I would try and, like, have these moments of silence and, like, the knowing between souls and people without even knowing how to describe it quite yet, because I didn't have that, like, knowledge. I just had the wisdom, like, that it's there. But that's what that reminded me of, was, like, you can, and that's, like, such a magical feeling, too, when you have those, like, moments of presence, and you can feel that other person's soul, and you're just, like, staring at each other's soul. It's crazy. But I remember, that reminded me of, like, what you said for some reason, too. Kind of just, like, went down a memory.
Maybe we'll add that on a topic. Anyways, thank you all for tuning in. Again, I appreciate it. I appreciate every single one of you that subscribe. You guys are all co-creating this at the same time. I do have a lot of gratitude. I know Nicki does too. I love being here for this. I hope that the message reaches you. I hope y'all got questions. Feel free to ask. Feel free to hit us up. Send some comments. Send some love. But we're sending it right back.
Feel free to join us, too. If you want to be on the podcast, maybe. I don't know. I'm just throwing that up. Yeah. If you want to talk about something.
Yeah, we should figure out how to do a live soon.
Yeah. That would be cool. We should do that.
We'll figure that out. But anyways, please subscribe, all that stuff. Follow us. Hit the like button if you liked it. See you guys next time on Swimming with Sepsey. Peace. Cool.
Nice.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Swimming with Sepsey. If this resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and follow us on our YouTube channel, or listen on all platforms or wherever you get your podcasts. Any support is greatly appreciated. You can find us on our Patreon page at patreon.com/swimmingwithsepsey. You can also follow us on Instagram at Swimming With Sepsey. And if something did arise today, maybe you need some clarification or want some help or just need some guidance and don't know where to go, feel free to reach out to me via email, swimmingwithsepsey@gmail.com, or you can find my website at solelyliving.com, where I offer coaching packages, readings, and things of that nature. Again, thank you for tuning in. Very grateful. Namaste. And we'll find you on the next episode of Swimming with Sepsey.